And the new album, it's called A Pound of Feathers.
The band made a record called A Pound of Feathers. The band in this case was just me and Rich and our drummer Cully. We went in this record. We went in the studio without any songs. You know, we just had some ideas and riffs, and we wanted to do it that way. We wanted to do something that was more spontaneous and on the fly, really, and see where that took us. You know, so we ended up. My joke with friends was we could have done it in 5 days if we had written any songs, but it took 8 or 9 days or whatever
for the whole album.
Yeah. It was beautiful. You know what I mean? We were on a roll. Rich has parts, and I'll go and have like 5 or 6 notebooks full of ideas. But that doesn't mean anything either, because a lot of times I'll just pull things out of the sky or whatever. No matter what, the world changes. You know, we're talking about buying snow tires and blowjobs for program directors at rock radio stations or whatever.
The good old days, Reaganomics.
Yeah, when you could sell some fucking records too.
Yeah, dude, that was fucking Reaganomics.
But for us, it's always like, that was just a part of like the business that was adjacent to what we loved and wanted to do, playing in a band. And it's funny because all these years later, we realized that making records, you know, we're not going to sell a million records. We're not going to sell any records. But this is what it is. But for us to get in there and to know, you know, and to feel that way and to realize, like, look, man, when we got started, we didn't know shit except we knew what was authentic and real in our hearts and what music meant to us. And if we're going to join, you know, when our first record came out, I'm like, dude, look, you go in a record store and there's Black Crowes records, but there's John Coltrane records, you know what I mean?
Bryan Adams, Leonard Cohen.
Yeah, right. And other Canadians as well. Or whoever, you know, the multitude of things that we loved, and the time, you know, how important record stores were, that we're a part of something meant something to us. It still does. And that we can still have a vibrancy about what it is we want to do and say, that we can have those moments where I'm sitting there and we're writing these songs and it works. And I don't care if it works, again, in another construct. It works for me and my brother, because we started writing some songs at Mom and Dad's, and you know, here we are.
Yeah.
And now our songs are in people's lives and that kind of thing. But that it's still fucking energy that I like, that I can look around and the fucking darkened time that we're in and muster the vibes to make something and feel this is what I want to say. You know, my poetry doesn't have to have any message other than its humanity, other than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the connection I want through the things that I've done, the things that I am, the things that I dream up, my imagination. You know what I mean? I always laugh because have you ever seen Barton Fink, the movie Barton Fink, the Coen Brothers movie?
No, I think I tried to watch it. Let me see a picture of it. It's black.
John Turturro plays this guy who goes to LA. It's a movie about writer's block. But
it looks just like Eraserhead.
Yeah, totally. But there's a scene in the movie with a writer. He befriends another writer who's a Southern guy, and he's kind of, I guess, based on like William Faulkner or something, was in California. I don't know. But he has this Barton Fink's really passionate. You write for the common man. And how do you, you know, where do the words come from that you could communicate like that? And he's a drunk, the other writer, and he's from the South. And he goes, well, Barton, I like to make things up. And I was like, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of is what it is. And it's the same things. I don't have a toolbox at home, but I like to write, and I like to, you know, I like to dream. And this is a dreamer's paradise. I've made my own reality out of my limitations as a like fully functional like person because of the way my mind works. And it helps if you sing good, whatever, you know what I mean? And you like to get on stage and keep people interested and you know, there's a bit of the old, it's like Bob Dylan says, I'm a song and dance man, you know what I mean? So I'm that as well.
Yeah, it's dude. The other night, a girl was talking to me about her music for so long. Then she got up and sang for me, and it was some of the worst stuff I'd ever heard. And I'd like for 70% of our time together, I was there with her, and then it fell apart in that last 30%.
no.
So I think the sharing it,
You're like,
the how you share it is right. But I do think that's interesting. Like it is a dreamer's paradise, and one thing that you don't want to lose, like no matter how like bleak times seem or how dark certain things are that are going on, is that we have to stay creative, right? Like we like as much as it hurts or as it's tough or it's like it's not easy to sit and do, to think of like, oh, I can be creative right now. I think if we lose that, then that's going to be really bad, you know?
Agreed. I mean, and that's, again, I think the inspiration of all of these things we are seeing have all been played out before. We've seen it. And the reality of that is we see who, you know, we'll see this come to some sort of, look, like I said, who knows between then and there.
Yeah.
But I refuse to allow defeatism to rule my life. I refuse to let the fear and ignorance of the whole thing dictate my every fucking thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I don't know, because I think you have, like you said, you have to,
And we can get addicted to the news. You get addicted to that stuff, and then it takes over your time. It takes over your life, and it takes your flame down, and it takes your and you're like, "What am I doing here?" You know,
it might be. I mean, it's not even escapism to me, because I need to. When we were talking earlier about how I have to keep my head, or I have to devote myself to whatever the thing is, it's the muse that keeps my creative energy where I want it to be and what it means. In the exact same respect, if these things cycle through people, it's proven again, you can't stop. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I feel like you can't, again, I don't want to put my head in the sand, because that doesn't help.
Yeah.
But I do realize
that we're on the beach.
Oh yeah. Well, I do realize too that there's a lot of footprints on the beach. You know what I mean? People have been coming to this beach for a long fucking time. And we just kind of have to remember that as well.
That's a good point.
I mean, you know, people romanticize, and in any time in history, tyrants and people kings who have become deranged, and you know, the abuse of power and ego and all these things. And you can see what happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
You see, you know what I mean? It goes for a while, but then it's over, because humans don't play that, you know?
Is there times like that in your career where you've written like music that you really thought was great or that had commercial successes or something, and then later, have you ever like been like, I need to try and get myself back into that space to write music like that again, as instead of trying to be like, I'm writing music from where I'm at?
No.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I hear you, but I'm not. I've always found it to be, I don't know. I've always found it to be the most sort of fulfilling, just to be in the moment, you know, which is difficult too, because you know, it's hard. You know, it's hard to it's hard to remain in the dream place sometimes. It's not hard for me. It's hard for everyone else, because you have to deal. You know, I'm a husband. I have kids. You know, I have pets. So demanding. There's so much pressure from the pets. But the reality is, I can't fully remove myself from the dream place or the muse or whatever you want to call it, because I do understand that it's a very jealous entity, and it will leave you if you're not. It has to have its proper place.
What does, you're saying?
the muse. You
Right.
know what I mean? That creative spark. It's like Quest for Fire. Do you know that movie? Ever seen Quest for Fire? Dude, we have to have a movie night. I mean, you're missing a lot of Quest for Fire.
I've seen, whoa.
The best.
I look like I'm related to one of those people.
We all are. We all are.
There we go.